Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back through daily crypto news and analysis, and today we are going to be talking about Casper Labs, Casper Network, whatever you want to call it, right? We're going to be talking about Casper today, and it is very interesting to say the least with how it has held up against this Bitcoin drop. We're going to be discussing that. We're also going to be talking about what is happening behind closed doors within the Casper ecosystem, and I'm also going to read a few tweets from myself, actually, because I do want to get your guys' insights. But with that being said, sit back, relax, and before we fully jump into this video, I just want to ask you guys if you could please like this video. It does help the channel grow immensely, and I do greatly appreciate that. Anybody who is new here, also, I hope that you consider subscribing and turning notifications on by the end of this video. Now, within this market, like I said, I've been discussing today pretty much the overall settlement point of this market. Let's refresh it. Let's make sure everything is up to date. But overall, this market dip that we've just recently seen gave us a lot of good buy-in opportunities, but it did not give us a good buy-in opportunity for Casper. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, well, dude, it was like 13 cents. What are you talking about? I did buy at 13 cents. I disclosed that information in the Discord. I also said it on Twitter as well. I bought more. It just made sense. But we did not dip at all, as low as most assets. In fact, on the 24-hour span, there's still a few assets that are down severely, much lower than most assets. Like, for example, Algorand's still down about almost 4%. The Sandbox is down like 9%. On the 7-day span, we could actually really see a lot of these assets down severely hard, like OMG, right, is down 22.7%, Zcash down almost 20%, Chainlink down almost 18% exact. So a lot of this market has dipped severely, and I know a lot of people are going to say, well, dude, Casper dipped like 20% from its high, and it did. Don't get me wrong, trading volume's down about 48.8%. We're still looking fairly strong though. On the 7-day span, now, this is the interesting thing, right? We hit about like 18 cents back here almost on the 15th. Okay, and of course we were going to have to retest a little bit because it was quite a jump from, down here, but it wasn't a terrible retest. We pretty much retested about 16, almost 15 cents, and then we went to run again, and here's where Bitcoin started to pretty much plummet. Now, we came down, retested 13 cents. We're going to be discussing this closely on the chart as well. I know that it's hard to see on TradingView, and we pretty much just kind of ranged on, went to go retest 17 cents yet again, and then, of course, Bitcoin came back for another drop in price, and again, the lowest that we went was like 13 cents yet again. We couldn't even lose the 13 cent, support zone, which tells me that Casper is extremely strong in terms of that major support. We're going to be discussing that and, of course, talking more so about that. Now, I do want to talk to you guys about this tweet. Now, if you guys do watch my other videos, I'm sure that this probably sounds like a broken record at this point, but I do want to talk to you guys about mainstream adoption. First off, Casper is well positioned for the DeFi scene, the NFT scene, and so much more. It is essentially Ethereum at scale, except guess what? It also provides scalability factors. It provides, upgradable smart contracts, and there's so much more within the Casper scene that just allows it to be a very diverse and very unique asset compared to Ethereum or any other layer 1 asset as well. But I did say, at scale, there would be dozens of trillion-dollar assets in this crypto space, like, for example, HBAR, XRP, QNT, XLM, AOBT, Casper, DAG, just to name a few. And of course, I do think that these will hit $1 trillion. It just is going to take time. It's not going to happen, this year, next year, possibly, or even the year after that, and so forth, right? Crypto is still in its infancy stages. You are very early. You are earlier than you think, okay? And of course, I do believe this. In terms of Casper, Casper is one of those, assets that is very, very early in its major, deployment and development. But of course, they are already making huge moves. The first move is also Casper Lab, right? Or Casper Pad, sorry. This is built within the Casper Labs ecosystem or Casper Network ecosystem. And when we're talking about this, we do see our free flow dev is a service that helps crypto startups connect with talented blockchain developers quickly and securely. Check them out. Now, of course, this is built within the Casper Pad ecosystem, which is all built on the Casper network. So anything to do with Casper Pad is all leading us back to, of course, Casper network. And of course, within this entire network, we are seeing a ton of other, projects. Like, for example, this Wealth Union, Minted Lab. All of this plays a huge part in the ecosystemal growth. This is actually a new Twitter, by the way, so definitely go check out Casper Pad. They give out a ton of updates with what is happening within the market. And of course, I do want to talk to you also about friendly friendly market, which again, this is a ton. I mean, there's a lot of things to really kind of talk about within friendly market. I'm also going to talk to you guys about their medium that they pretty much just released yesterday, but this is the first official decentralized exchange, options trading, prediction markets, and NFT marketplace that is all built on Casper network. Now, this was posted yesterday, like I said, and this is all, pretty much focused around decentralized finance, and this is very interesting to say the least on what they are building. So of course, they're talking about the Casper blockchain, all that kind of stuff. And then they're also talking about REI and Super REI. So this is the official friendly market token, and it is what enables users to take a portion of platform fees. Of course, this is pretty much just kind of giving you guys the idea about this asset, and of course the AMN. So this is the automated market maker. Of course, the Casper blockchain does not have a working automated market maker, so an AMM, is vitally important to a sustainable DeFi system, as it is essentially an algorithm that sets buying and selling prices for cryptocurrencies. Now, of course, when we're talking about this, a 0.3% fee will be collected on every trade executed on the AMM. A 0.25% will go to liquidity providers, while the rest will be split evenly between the Super REI holders. Like I said, this is pretty interesting because when we're talking about these projects that are built within the Casper ecosystem, Friendly Market looks like it's well positioned for the DeFi space to really kind of disrupt it. And like I said, it all bleeds back to Casper Network. And of course, the NFT marketplace, very interesting to say the least. I think that this is great. And of course, all of this will accrue more and more fees. They're fairly low, I should say, as well, especially compared to like OpenSea and a few other, NFT marketplaces. And of course, the Launchpad. There is a ton of stuff within this. And of course, predictions, they're talking about that predictions market, which I think that is great. All of this is incredible because this is all, like I said, built on the Casper network, and this is exactly why I think that the upside potential for Casper is so massive. And of course, here's the benefits of using Friendly Market. Easy access to lucrative DeFi applications built on the first blockchain following the Casper CBC specification, AMM to buy/sell cryptocurrencies, NFT marketplace to buy/sell NFTs, Launchpad for new projects, options trading, predictions platform, fee sharing with Super REI holders, and hyper efficient. All of the dApps that are built within the Casper network is all similar to the dApps that are built within the Ethereum network. They all provide immense value for the original token, which is Casper. This is why I've always said, in terms of the adoption that will take place for DeFi, NFTs, the retail markets, all that kind of stuff, it's all going to allow for a massive price appreciation for a lot of assets, including Casper. The DeFi space is very early in terms of adoption. I don't need to tell you guys that. You probably all understand that. That's why regulations are trying to get, set in stone for the DeFi space. We do see that the market cap is sitting at about $170.6 billion, and we know that Casper is severely undervalued at like roughly around a $300 million market cap, almost 400 billion, or 400 million, I mean. Could you imagine that at a $400 billion market cap? That would be absolutely massive. But no, it's very well positioned to really kind of disrupt a lot of these scenes. And I'm very excited for the future of Casper. Now, I did get tagged in this just the other day as well. Now, this is talking about, SEO performance on their website, and, could Casper go to $10 and overtake AVAX or even Solana? It's hard to say. I don't know if it's going to reach $10 this bull run, but I've always said, $4 to $7 sounds reasonable. In terms of the SEO, it kind of really goes to show you how early we are in terms of Casper marketing, or just Casper in general, right? First off, I'm one of the very few YouTubers that actually talk about Casper. There's only a few other ones like Kevin Cage and XRP Owl and stuff like that, but we do see that the SEO is kind of ramping up a little bit. Domain traffic 110,700, number of pages only 49, domain rating 40. But we're also seeing the YouTube SEO, right? 174 uploads only. That's nothing. YouTube mentioned volume 11,100. So, like I said, very early. Twitter influencers 500. Total Twitter mentions only 69,100. So, we're very early in terms of, Casper for what you could actually see in the social volume. There's not too much volume within this. So when we're talking about stuff like this, right, Casper, WebAssembly /WASM, POS, private or permissioned, built for from the Ethereum CBC Casper specifications, future-proof, scalable, upgradable smart contracts, predictable gas fees / gas futures, layer 1 protocol. And, when we're talking about these assets, when we're talking about what Casper is building, this is going to be so much bigger than what most people actually assume it to be. And at its current price, it's just a no-brainer move. I even said this, right? I have immense confidence that Casper is set to explode once Bitcoin fully stabilizes / conducts the next major all-time high retest. And that is exactly what I do still see happening for Casper. We're moving very fast in terms of adoption and, ecosystem growth. We've just seen massive ecosystem growth in just the last 3 months alone. So it's crazy to say the least. And when we're talking about Casper, right, there won't be a lot of people buying at 6 to 10 to 13 to 15 cents, but they will be FOMOing in at very high price targets. Now, this is just a little bit of a meme. I wanted to include it in the video because it is true, right? This is exactly how crypto plays out. There won't be a lot of people buying down here because this is the bottom floor level. Of course, you could argue that this was the bottom floor level back in July, but we're still at a bottom floor level. We are in still a massive consolidation. We're building this massive foundational support. I always love to call this a foundation, right? Because the house that will be built on top of it is going to be absolutely massive, so we need a strong support. And the slow growth or the slow, building phase that we're building here is great. First off, we're in an upward trend if the market could kind of stabilize and continue on the path that it is. We're retesting this major resistance point again. Like I said, this is the point that we broke out of before that pretty much led us to these highs up here at almost 18 cents. And if we could break above this, find support on this, and flip it into support similar to what we were doing back here before we broke down below it, that will be very bullish for us because that will allow us to target 18 cents next. Like I've said, this was the point where we almost retested it until Bitcoin pretty much said, hey, we're going to rug pull real quick. And, I think that once we do break over this, really kind of hold above it. I know that we peaked a little bit above it. It was nothing too crazy. But once we do pretty much flip this into support, once we retest 18 cents, break above that, the next major target point, like I said, is 30 cents. But after that, okay, I just want you guys to understand. Here, I'll throw some lines on the chart for you guys and just call it a day, right? But no, seriously, like 30.5 cents is the next major point of resistance. I know that there's a few, like you could argue that this is resistance at 28.78, but I don't think that is too clear of a sign there. But I will say this. The next major point is around, actually technically it is around this point here at about 35 cents, almost 36 cents. And there's also some resistance around this point here as well, in terms of some, pretty much resting resistance, which is nothing too crazy. And then after that, there's not too much holding us back. I mean, we'll most likely hit resistance going on the way, all the way up to about $4. But, my next target point after that is broken. It's the sky's the limit, right? I think that we target all the way to $4 plus. With the all-time highs, I know that the all-time highs up here is like $66 for the ICO price, but I'm more so dead set on utilizing, the double daily up here, which is, if we're looking at it from an overall perspective, first off, that is $4.39 for being the major resistance point. And the top of this candle here is about $4.92. So, I think that a $4 to $7 range for Casper is fairly reasonable. I know a lot of people are going to say, dude, that's crazy. Do you honestly think that is possible this bull run? Yes, I actually do. Because when we're talking about a lot of these assets in terms of their massive volume and their massive ecosystem growth, I think Casper is one of the, names in this game that's leading the way. And it's really truly building a path to greatness right now currently. In terms of the price appreciation, if you want a safer bet, because, none of this is guaranteed. None of these prices are guaranteed at all. I'm just telling you guys what I personally see. But a 10x from here is a perfect, place to scale out. If you want to scale out at $1.50, that's totally fine. I didn't look at the macro base levels on the 4-hour, but if we look back here, let me zoom in. So on the 4-hour span, we could actually kind of see where a lot of this pretty much volume lies back here. And even on the 2-hour span, we could also see that. So let me zoom out a little bit again. So the wicks back here were a little bit, diverse or weird in their own sense, but we do see that on the 2-hour span, this was a massive drop in price, pretty much bottomed out almost at 65 cents or so. And from there, it pretty much kind of just trailed down. But we do see that, the major point, again, is where I had the original pretty much placement, which was around $4.38. If we could retest that, break over that, that would be absolutely crazy. But obviously, we have to wait to see. We have to wait to see if everything kind of gets validated or invalidated in terms of Bitcoin standings. But I will say this, Casper is one of the strongest assets in terms of this massive drop in price on Bitcoin, which wasn't too crazy of a drop in price, but It was for most assets that dropped like 20+%. But in terms of Casper, it's one of the only ones that have held very strong. And we pretty much bounced off of solid support as well. And we retested a perfect point. If we're talking about the bottom support, it found support at around 1330. So this is perfect. It's also major support going back to the 15th of September as well as the 16th. So perfect retested support. Looks like we are retesting that resistance. Looks like we were breaking over or peaking over it just a little bit. If we could actually find some support there, that would be very bullish. I didn't even look, but I'm sure if I was like a retail investor or a normie investor looking at the 15-hour charts on this, and I was just looking at it like this, I would be like, wow, this looks extremely bullish. But honestly, I don't like to do that. I only like to look at pretty much the micro levels in terms of a 4-hour, 2-hour, and stuff like that, or macro levels, which is like the daily, weekly, and stuff like that. Which I should say also, in terms of the weekly chart, this looks extremely bullish, and I'm very happy for the current levels that we are at. I think that we are well positioned to really kind of peak over this level, though, regain some support there, and pretty much continuing the upward trend that we've been in since October 25th, by the way. So very bullish on Casper. Don't need to tell you guys that. If you guys do want to get more content, you guys can always go check out NCashOfficial.com. But with that being said, I hope that you all enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.